for the videotape last time. So, anyway, this book, when I was teaching class to y'all, I was like, they need curriculum help. They need, development of the classroom and strategies for this. And so this book I kept going back to and back to. We need to do intentional teacher. So we're going to do the intentional teacher. This book you can keep through the series, but we need it back at the end because they are expensive. So I gave you a notebook that's going to be your very own notebook. You can keep it forever. And I want you to take notes. And if there's any pages in the intentional teacher that you want copies made of, we can make them for free here. So if you're like, ooh, I really want that and I want to write it down, let me know and we can make copies after it, okay? But take notes. I prefer you not write the book because I'm going to keep using these through the next people. But, so the intentional teacher, I'm super excited. And we're going to talk about, come on, we got a new computer for up here, y'all, too. It's just not in here yet. Because this computer drives me bananas. Please. There we go. All right, so we talked about books, notes, copies, the table of contents. So you're going to look and see what kind of we're going to be going over this summer. And that's on the contents page. It doesn't really on the page. But I'm going to be introducing it today, the intentional teacher, and we're going to start going into best practices for intentional teaching. And then next week, or whenever we schedule the next class, then we're going to keep going through best practices and approaches to learning. And then we're going to hit on social emotional learning, physical development and health, language and literacy, mathematics, science, social studies, creative arts, and then kind of reflect on it. And throughout it, I'm going to give you examples of how I implemented it in my own classroom, and I'm going to give you resources to, if you want to do it in your own classroom, you can. We just found my favorite classroom song CD, and so we're going to give each of y'all those, and you're going to get a chance to like make a song chart and do different things like that. So it's going to be fun homework. I'm going to give you homework, but it's going to be fun homework. It's going to be something that you can do at your program to make it better if you want to. If you've already got it, then you don't have to do it. You're like, I already did this, then you don't have to do it. You're not going to get counted off for not doing homework, but it's going to help you out. You're going to hopefully like it. If you don't like it, don't do it. It's okay. You're an adult. There's lots of fruit over there if you want to. Yeah. So the dates are up here for the upcoming ones, but I was wondering if we could maybe start doing 2 at a time, if that'll be easier so you don't have to keep coming back every week. And so think about that at the end of class. Let's talk about it. And we would just do it to 11 because Sam says that she's got to get somebody to a therapy session. So it would just be 2.5 hours. It would be 3 hours. But if y'all are like, dude, I can't take you talking an hour and a half. But sometimes I try to cram it all in anyway, and we need a longer time. So think about that. We'll talk about it at the end. Maybe this will work better. No. Okay. So I'm going to start off, and we're like, y'all can go back and read the chapter that I'm going to talk about. Like, I'll be talking about a chapter today that you haven't read. But basically, it's just like the notes from that chapter, and like if you want to nerd it up and go back home and read about it, then you can, because it is an amazing book, and I loved it. But these are kind of like the highlights from it. And I also, at the end of this, can give y'all a copy of the PowerPoint, so you don't have to write down everything. But I have to go through the PowerPoint as I go to make notes and stuff, so I don't want to give you one right now. Okay. Intentional teaching. Intentional teaching does not happen by chance. It is planful, thoughtful, and purposeful. Intentional teachers use their knowledge, judgment, and expertise to organize learning experiences for children. When an unplanned situation arises, as it always does, being a teacher, they recognize a teaching opportunity and take advantage of it. Intentional teaching means teachers act with specific outcomes or goals in mind for all domains of children's development and learning. So academic domains, are literacy, mathematics, science, and social studies. And early learning domains are what we all know about, are the social, emotional, cognitive, physical, creative development. All consist of important knowledge and skills that young children want and need to master. Have y'all all been through my foundations training? Where you get the foundations of early learning standards?
We did part with Tina.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll offer that again sometime when I'm not pregnant. But that's a good, you were in that.
Yeah, I loved it.
It's good, and to use that book regularly in your planning is
It
amazing
makes a
too.
huge difference when you do use that book.
Yeah,
Because I use it all the time now.
yeah, to go back and see where different, in family child care homes, you have different ages. And it will look at one thing and it will tell you all the different ages, for that one area. So that's a really good kind of book to go along with this too. There we go. Optimal learning. So in this book, you'll see there's child-guided experiences and adult-guided experiences. And child-guided experiences is they acquire knowledge and skills mainly through their own exploration experience, including interactions with peers. You notice, sometimes you can sit back in your class, that was one of my favorite things, was to sit back and just watch what was happening. You could see the learning going on, you could see the interactions going on, you would learn the children's interests and be able to build upon those. Adult-guided experiences, they're self-explanatory, are planned situations in which their teachers introduce information, model skills, like how to use scissors, how to skip, and the like. So there's all kinds of things that you introduce to children that they don't know anything about. Why is a cloud formed, or those kind of things. An effective early childhood program combines both child-guided experiences and adult-guided experiences. And basically it's just like you're trying to figure it out to where you're not doing too much of one or doing the right thing at the right time. So not extremes of either, rather adults play intentional roles in child-guided experiences and children have significant active roles in adult-guided experiences. So if you return to page 3, you'll see this kind of example throughout the book. So this is the child-guided experience and adult-guided experiences equals optimal learning. Basically, so up at the top where this orange part is, it says the child-guided experiences. It proceeds primarily along the children's interests and actions with strategic teacher support. And so child-guided, this is the example of it down here. 2 children want to divide a bowl of beads equally between themselves. If it's child-guided, then children first try to make 2 equal piles by eyeballing them, but they are not satisfied. The teacher suggests they count their beads. They do so, and then they move the beads into their piles, count again, and make adjustments until the piles are equal. But you'll see, the child controlled, if you were just to step back and not do anything, then the teacher does not get involved, even when the children become frustrated and begin to get angry at each other over who has more. So, and then the adult control would be the teacher counts the beads and divides the 2, telling the children how many beads each should take, okay? So what you want to do is meet in the middle kind of thing and know what's your role in this and what's the child's role in this and not be too in there, but you gotta know what the good median is. And then an adult-guided experiences proceeds primarily along the lines of the teacher's goals, but is also shaped by the children's active engagement. So this is an example. The teacher wants the children to learn about shadows and their properties. So if it was child-controlled, the teacher allows the children to deflect the focus from shadows to the discussion of what toys they like to play with in the sandbox. They're not really anything about this, they just keep moving along. Adult-controlled, on the other hand, is the teacher controls all aspects of the lesson and delivers it to the whole group. I see this a lot when I'm out there. A teacher really wants to teach something really bad, and they'll ask maybe a closed-ended question, but not an open-ended question. But if it's adult guided, which is appropriate in this situation, the teacher plans the lesson and leads a small group in exploring shadows with flashlights and a sheet. The teacher encourages and uses the children's input. For example, when they want to make animal shadows. And so she's there to support it. She's there to keep it going. She's there to add something in, that kind of thing. So these will be out throughout your book, and it'll be good for y'all to look at those. And these might be, like these kind of sections might be sections you're like, I want to copy that, because it'll give you ideas. This part of this first day of class too is me talking a lot, and y'all might be like, this is gonna be so boring, you know. But I don't want it to be boring for y'all. But it's kind of the introduction to the book, and so it's gonna be me kind of more talking about the book. But it lays the foundation for it. So the meaning of intentional. So intentional, to act purposely with a goal in mind and a plan for accomplishing it. The intentional teacher can explain why she is doing what she is doing. So if somebody was to come in your classroom and be like, why do you have that flashlight out? What are y'all doing? Then you can explain what you're doing and why you're doing it. Intentional teacher aims at clearly defined learning objectives for children. So that foundations book, you can be like, I'm looking at these objectives right here. And like when I train on the foundations, you can be looking at all kinds of things in one thing. It doesn't have to be you're just looking at one objective. You can be looking at different things for different people, for different, once you get to K-12, they kind of like, we're in English, we're in reading, we're in math. But in early childhood, what's beautiful about it is it's all together. Everybody's learning about it.
Like, even when it does have those sections, like, it still involves other things in that. It's
Right.
not just like science or something like that.
Right. And if there's ever an emergency, you're allowed to leave, you're allowed to leave your phones on, you can walk out, do whatever you need. Employs instructional strategies likely to help children achieve objectives. So you're thinking about those strategies to help those children get to that next point. Continually assess progress and adjust the strategies based on an assessment. What curriculum do y'all use in your programs? Do what? Creative curriculum. Do y'all do an assessment at your program? You don't. So we'll be talking about that too, and like how we can help you start to use an assessment tool. Y'all use teaching strategies online, and I think that's the only thing that goes along with creative curriculum. Mm-hmm. It used to be you could do paper. When I first started, it was like this paper chart, and you like dotted where they were, but they don't have that anymore, do they? I don't know either. So
I use, it's, I guess unofficially, because the state doesn't recognize, I use the LAP, the ELAP, for the kids, just so I know where they are.
Right.
And the progress they've made.
Right. So we'll look at that throughout this book and just see like how we can help you maybe find an assessment tool, maybe even that goes along with the creative curriculum. They do have it online, but it's expensive.
I've checked out the creative curriculum goal.
Right.
And it's not that bad.
Right.
I just could never get connected with the right people. We went round and round for about 3 months.
I have that trouble too because I've just started connecting about the dual school thing. And really, I had to like be like, I'm gonna talk to your manager,
Right?
Because I need a quote. And the thing with the quote for just 8 children in the small thing, it was only $21, $22 a year for this assessment tool, which isn't bad.
Right.
It was a $450 startup initial fund. So
That's what they first told me, and then I went on and talked to several different people on when I could get them, because I think they're in California or something.
yeah,
There's a big time difference.
yeah,
And they got it down to where it was $50 for the home care.
that's great.
And then I was to the point where we were sending everything out to the bank, and then we never could get connected.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So maybe try to work on that again this summer so we can get that rolling.
But they did get it down, and I kept explaining them, I just have 5 children. I'll only have 5 children at any point, that's all I'm going to have.
Right.
And they brought it down a
That's
lot.
Yeah, because $450 was like, are we gonna, because the Children's Council want to help y'all support it to help it, but like Lynn Hill, do y'all use an assessment that's online with creative curriculum?
No, we use our books, but
Yeah,
we don't do the assessment.
yeah, so